Okay, today's piece on multiple personalities, a homespun version as I like to call it. I'm Wolf Alexander, your host. I don't know about with the most, I'm not sure. But anyway, today I'd like to talk a little bit about how our government has for many, many years, each, no matter who the president was and so on, how it has dealt and the Western empires have dealt with other countries for a long time, and the the concept is a zero-sum game. So what does that actually mean? It actually means that the losses of one side are equal to the gains of the other. And it becomes that's a zero-sum game. So if you take that and kind of use it your own way, then you're the CIA and you're the federal government. And Jeffrey Sachs gives a much more complete explanation for what this means in terms of our own governance. It is a terrifying scenario, and Jeffrey is, I would say, a real expert on policy and international goings on for a long time. He's certainly a professor at Columbia. I don't know what's happened since Columbia took the knee for the administration, so-called administration. What are they administering? A zero-sum game. And for me, simply put, the zero-sum game is go to a place, subdue the population, and take their shit. That's our zero-sum game. They don't like it. We will replace their governance with whatever we want. We've done it all over the place. None of the presidents stopped it, from happening. I mean, it's sort of, if you want to go from George H.W. to George W., it includes Obama, Biden, it's everybody, there is a limit, and there is a limit to the idea of democracy from the beginning. So part of this reason for my point mentioning all this is to, for one thing, let's take away the shock of dictatorship. Wow, it's not that much of a surprise when you consider the zero-sum game that Western empires and the United States empire has done for a long time. This is weaponizing information. And the playbook is pretty much written in stone. It's quicker. It's more complete now, perhaps, than it ever has been. But the ideas are always pretty much the same. So you have to control information. So you're controlling the data that exists about any given subject to your population, the given population. And so you have to control the media. You have to control all sources of data. Okay? So it's not just now. We have the phones, we have the internet, huge amounts of data, and that has to be controlled. So in order to subdue the people, that's the first thing that's going to happen. The next thing is an element of fear, which is military and law enforcement on the streets, riding herd, basically. They're waiting for any infraction that would be like any dissent about the present governance, and anything that whoever the SOB on top doesn't like, basically. This is not new stuff, but again, our technology is so much more complete, and it is very Orwellian stuff. And when I say Orwellian, for those of you who don't know who George Orwell was, he wrote 1984, and that was sort of this great thing in 1984 that was debunked, you know. I remember the show Nightline, which it was the main host was Ted Koppel, saying, see, it didn't happen. But actually, it was already happening on in different realms, but now it's shamelessly upfront. It didn't happen exactly in 1984, and why would it? It was a work of fiction by a man who saw the potential that the technology brought to surveil everyone and basically subdue and take whatever they've got. And in a lot of ways, what they've got is their human energy, and what the real product of all of us is our energy, our ability to produce stuff. Okay, so that's our value in any realm, and those in charge know that that's what they really want to use because they profit from people's work. And so you got to control what the work is. And this is what all empires do, which has to include, you know, the periodic warfare. We have really improved our equipment there. It was really easy to kill a lot of people all at once. And, you know, besides the existential, you know, crises, you know, which includes climate change, which most scientists, you know, agree is the case. So we have all of this, you know, all of this can help a dictator control population. And then ultimately you in the same administration is controlling all the resources. And so there you've got it. Control data, control information, create a surveillance state, we have it. A police state, we're getting it. And other empires and dictators have always, they have it, and they've always, there's always been that element. And then and then production in service to the ruler and his friends or her friends, whatever. The idea that somehow women would be doing this better, I think that's kind of true. I think it's kind of true. I think there's an element of nurture in women that men have been taught to go away from. Yeah, you know, but that there are some horrible, horrible people who are female as well. And so I don't know if that's the answer to perfection, but a balanced picture of men and women is, you know. So you have the Chinese might call the yin and yang. Balance is a good thing. Okay. So in any case, that's what I have to say right now. And so, as always, I wish you much love, and I love you. Bye for now.